3 morning drinks that quietly raise stroke risk after 65 every morning. The first drink you reach for feels like a small choice, but after 65 it can quietly shape your health in powerful ways. Some drinks, even those considered harmless or healthy, place dangerous stress on the blood vessels and brain. Doctors warn that these hidden risks add up silently, narrowing arteries, raising blood pressure, and increasing the chance of a stroke. What makes them especially concerning is that they are part of many seniors' daily routines. Knowing which drinks to avoid in the morning could mean protecting your independence, your memory, and your future years of health. Your mornings should strengthen you, not place your health at risk. Stay with me as we uncover 3 common morning drinks that quietly raise stroke risk after 65. And if this message resonates, please subscribe, like, and share so others can safeguard their health too. Sugary fruit juices are often viewed as a healthy start to the day, but for seniors over 65 they can quietly increase the risk of stroke. The concern lies not in the fruit itself but in the concentrated sugars released when fruit is juiced. Unlike whole fruit, which contains fiber to slow digestion, juice delivers sugar in a quick flood to the bloodstream. This rapid spike raises blood pressure and insulin levels, straining the arteries that carry blood to the brain. Doctors warn that repeated exposure to these sugar surges weakens the blood vessels over time, making them more vulnerable to the blockages and ruptures that cause strokes. Even juices labeled 100 natural can contribute to this problem. A glass of orange juice, for example, may contain the sugar equivalent of 3 or 4 oranges but without the fiber that protects against sudden absorption. For seniors, this means each sip is a direct challenge to vascular health. Research shows that high sugar intake contributes to arterial stiffness, a condition where blood vessels lose their flexibility. Stiff arteries increase the risk of clots and raise the pressure that can damage delicate brain vessels. What may feel like a refreshing morning habit can quietly erode resilience in the circulatory system. Another issue is the effect of fruit juice on blood sugar control. Seniors are more likely to live with diabetes or prediabetes, and their bodies handle glucose less efficiently. Drinking fruit juice in the morning causes glucose levels to surge, followed by a rapid drop. These swings are not just uncomfortable, they injure the inner lining of blood vessels. This injury triggers inflammation, which is a key factor in the development of stroke. Doctors emphasize that vascular damage from unstable blood sugar is one of the leading contributors to stroke in older adults. By starting the day with juice, seniors unknowingly set off this harmful cycle. Excess sugar from juice also raises triglyceride levels in the blood. Triglycerides are a type of fat that, when elevated, increase the risk of clots forming inside arteries. High triglycerides thicken the blood, making it harder for the heart to pump and easier for blockages to develop. For seniors over 65, whose circulation is already less efficient, this adds a dangerous layer of risk. Studies have linked frequent fruit juice consumption with higher triglyceride levels and an increased likelihood of cardiovascular events, including stroke. Doctors caution that what appears to be a harmless morning drink can act as a silent driver of vascular decline. Weight gain is another indirect effect of fruit juice that increases stroke risk. Juice is calorie-dense but not filling, leading to excess calorie intake without the satiety that whole foods provide. Over time, this contributes to central obesity, particularly belly fat, which is closely linked to vascular disease. Abdominal fat releases inflammatory chemicals that damage blood vessels and increase clotting tendencies. For seniors, carrying extra weight significantly raises the risk of both heart disease and stroke. Drinking juice every morning may seem small, but its contribution to weight gain and inflammation is significant. Another overlooked concern is the effect of juice on blood pressure. Research has found that regular consumption of sugary beverages, including juice, raises systolic blood pressure. High blood pressure is the single most important risk factor for stroke. For seniors, whose arteries may already be stiffened with age, the added pressure from daily juice consumption makes vessels more prone to rupture or blockage. Doctors frequently remind patients that managing blood pressure is essential to stroke prevention, and reducing sugar intake is one of the most effective strategies. Juice also lacks protective nutrients that whole fruit provides. The juicing process strips away much of the fiber and reduces the impact of antioxidants. While juice contains vitamins, these are outweighed by the harm caused by concentrated sugars. Seniors who choose juice over whole fruit miss out on the slow-release energy and vascular protection that fiber offers. Over years, this substitution weakens the body's defenses against stroke. Even low sugar or the light juices can pose risks. Many of these contain artificial sweeteners or additives that may disrupt metabolism and appetite control. Some studies suggest that artificially sweetened drinks are associated with increased stroke risk in older adults, though the exact mechanisms are still under investigation. Doctors advise that water, herbal teas, or whole fruit are safer choices that provide hydration and nourishment without the risks tied to juice. The hidden danger of fruit juice is its reputation as a healthy choice. Seniors who drink it daily often believe they are supporting their health, when in reality they are adding one of the strongest dietary drivers of vascular strain. The brain and heart depend on stable, flexible arteries to function, and juice undermines both. Avoiding fruit juice does not mean giving up flavor or freshness in the morning. Replacing juice with whole fruit provides vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber without the sugar surge. Eating an orange, for instance, gives the body the same nutrients as orange juice but in a safer, slower-release form. Seniors who make this switch often notice steadier energy, less mid-morning fatigue, and, most importantly, reduced risk to their heart and brain health. In the long term, skipping fruit juice and choosing water, herbal tea, or whole fruit can help preserve independence and protect against stroke. Doctors emphasize that prevention is about small, consistent decisions. For seniors, avoiding juice is a simple but powerful way to safeguard circulation and keep the brain supplied with steady, healthy blood flow. It is not about denial but about choosing wisely to stay stronger and safer as the years go on. Energy drinks and very strong caffeinated beverages are often seen as quick ways to shake off morning fatigue, but for seniors over 65 they quietly create some of the most dangerous conditions for a stroke. The high doses of caffeine, combined with sugar or artificial stimulants, put the cardiovascular system under sudden stress. Doctors warn that these drinks can sharply raise blood pressure, trigger irregular heart rhythms, and dehydrate the body, all of which weaken the delicate vessels that supply blood to the brain. What feels like an energy boost in the moment can, over years, become a pattern that significantly raises stroke risk. The first major concern is blood pressure. Energy drinks and concentrated coffees often deliver far more caffeine than the body needs at once. For seniors, whose arteries are already less flexible with age, this surge pushes pressure against the vessel walls with greater force. Studies have shown that even a single energy drink can raise systolic blood pressure within an hour of consumption. Seniors who start their day this way may be forcing their arteries to endure a daily strain that increases the likelihood of vessel rupture or clot formation in the brain. Another issue is the effect on heart rhythm. High caffeine intake overstimulates the nervous system and can lead to arrhythmias or irregular heartbeats. While these may feel like small flutters at first, they create a higher risk of blood pooling in the heart chambers and forming clots. If such a clot travels to the brain, it can block blood flow and cause an ischemic stroke. Cardiologists caution that seniors, whose hearts are less adaptable, are far more vulnerable to these rhythm disturbances when consuming large doses of caffeine. Energy drinks often contain more than just caffeine. Many include added stimulants such as taurine, guarana, and ginseng. These compounds further raise heart rate and pressure, compounding the risks. In younger adults, the body can sometimes compensate for these stresses, but after 65, the margin of safety narrows. Seniors consuming these drinks may notice palpitations, dizziness, or nervousness, all warning signs that the nervous and cardiovascular systems are under duress. Doctors stress that these symptoms should not be ignored, as they reflect the kind of instability that can precede a serious event like a stroke. Another hidden danger is dehydration. Caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it increases fluid loss through urination. Seniors are already more prone to dehydration because the body's natural sense of thirst diminishes with age. When dehydration sets in, blood becomes thicker and harder to pump, making clots more likely to form. This thickened blood places added stress on the brain's arteries and increases the risk of blockages. Starting the day with an energy drink or strong coffee instead of water worsens this problem, setting the stage for reduced circulation and greater stroke risk. Sugar is another key factor in many energy drinks. A single can may contain more sugar than the recommended daily limit. Just like with fruit juice, this sugar floods the bloodstream, spikes insulin, and damages blood vessels. For seniors with diabetes or pre-diabetes, the effect is even more pronounced, compounding the risk of vascular injury. Even sugar-free versions are not without danger, as artificial sweeteners have been linked to metabolic disturbances that may also raise stroke risk in older adults. Doctors remind patients that energy drinks are not harmless pick-me-ups but concentrated doses of stimulants and sugars that strain every level of the cardiovascular system. Strong caffeinated coffees or teas, especially when consumed in multiple large servings, carry similar dangers. While moderate amounts of coffee may have some health benefits, excessive consumption, such as 2 or more extra strong cups in the morning, raises blood pressure and heart rate in ways that increase stroke risk. Seniors who brew their coffee double strength or choose espresso-style servings are especially at risk. Over time, this routine quietly damages the arteries, erodes their flexibility, and weakens the body's ability to handle sudden cardiovascular stress. Another overlooked consequence of overusing caffeine is its impact on sleep. Seniors often already struggle with lighter, more fragile sleep cycles. Excess caffeine in the morning can linger in the system, reducing sleep quality at night. Poor sleep increases stress hormone levels, such as cortisol, which raise blood pressure and damage blood vessels. Doctors highlight that the combination of high morning caffeine and poor nightly rest creates a vicious cycle that steadily worsens vascular health and raises the chance of a stroke. Interactions with medication are another concern. Many seniors take drugs for blood pressure, heart rhythm, or diabetes. High doses of caffeine can interfere with these medications, either by reducing their effectiveness or by intensifying side effects. For example, combining caffeine with certain heart drugs may increase palpitations, while pairing it with diuretics can worsen dehydration. These interactions quietly weaken the body's protection against stroke, making energy drinks and strong caffeinated beverages even more dangerous for older adults. The long-term impact of these drinks is cumulative. Each surge in blood pressure, each episode of dehydration, and each rhythm disturbance chips away at vascular health. While 1 cup of coffee or an occasional tea is unlikely to cause immediate harm, the daily habit of relying on strong or artificially boosted caffeinated drinks steadily raises stroke risk. Seniors who develop this routine may feel temporarily energized but pay the price with declining artery strength and greater vulnerability to brain events. Safer options exist for seniors who need a morning lift. Doctors often recommend starting the day with a glass of water to rehydrate, followed by mild teas or a single moderate cup of coffee if desired. These provide gentle stimulation without overwhelming the cardiovascular system. Avoiding energy drinks entirely and limiting caffeine to moderate amounts helps preserve artery health and reduce the chance of stroke. In the end, energy drinks and very strong caffeinated beverages are not suitable for seniors. What may seem like a harmless way to gain energy is, in reality, a hidden stressor on the heart and brain. For adults over 65, avoiding these drinks is one of the simplest and most effective steps toward reducing stroke risk and maintaining long-term independence. Choosing hydration and moderation over stimulation protects not only the nervous system but also the years of health and clarity that every senior deserves. Alcohol-based morning tonics may seem like a harmless ritual or even a health practice to some seniors, but they quietly place the brain and blood vessels in danger. Small amounts of alcohol are sometimes believed to improve circulation or thin the blood, yet when taken regularly in the morning, alcohol disrupts the body's natural rhythms and silently raises the risk of stroke. Doctors caution that for adults over 65, even modest daily alcohol use increases the likelihood of high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, and weakened blood vessels. These are 3 of the strongest contributors to stroke. What begins as a comforting habit can slowly erode the body's ability to protect itself from serious vascular events. The first concern is the effect of alcohol on blood pressure. While it may cause a short-lived sense of relaxation, alcohol actually raises blood pressure in the long run. Studies have consistently shown that regular drinking increases systolic and diastolic pressure, forcing arteries to endure constant stress. Seniors with already stiffened or narrowed arteries are especially at risk. Each rise in pressure increases the chance that a fragile vessel in the brain could rupture, leading to a hemorrhagic stroke. For older adults, whose blood vessels have less elasticity, this danger is magnified with every drink. Another major risk is alcohol's impact on heart rhythm. Seniors who consume alcohol regularly, even in small morning doses, face a higher risk of atrial fibrillation, a condition where the heart beats irregularly and inefficiently. This irregular rhythm allows blood to pool in the chambers of the heart, forming clots that can travel to the brain and block blood flow. Doctors stress that atrial fibrillation is one of the leading causes of stroke in seniors, and alcohol is a direct contributor to its development and recurrence. What feels like a mild tonic can, over years, be a steady trigger for this dangerous condition. Alcohol also weakens the blood vessel walls. With repeated exposure, the inner lining of arteries becomes damaged and more prone to inflammation. This damage makes it easier for fatty deposits to form and for clots to stick, narrowing the vessels that supply the brain. Seniors who drink in the morning may not notice immediate harm, but the quiet weakening of the vascular system accumulates over time. This is why doctors often see stroke patients with a history of regular alcohol use, even if that use seemed modest. Another problem is that alcohol disrupts the body's ability to regulate clotting. While some people think of alcohol as a blood thinner, in reality it destabilizes the clotting process. At times it may thin the blood too much, raising the risk of bleeding in the brain. At other times it may promote clot formation, increasing the risk of blockage. This unpredictability makes alcohol especially risky for seniors, who need stable clotting to protect against both hemorrhagic and ischemic strokes. Alcohol-based tonics also interfere with sleep and hydration. Drinking in the morning disrupts circadian rhythms, leaving the body more fatigued and less able to repair itself. Alcohol is also a diuretic, causing fluid loss that thickens the blood and makes circulation more difficult. For seniors, who are already prone to dehydration, this increases the risk of clot formation and stroke. The combination of disrupted rest, dehydration, and vascular stress places hidden strain on both the brain and the heart. Interactions with medication add another layer of risk. Many seniors take prescriptions for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes. Alcohol can reduce the effectiveness of these drugs or intensify their side effects. For example, combining alcohol with blood pressure medication can cause dangerous drops or spikes in pressure, both of which increase stroke risk. Doctors consistently warn that alcohol undermines treatment, leaving seniors unprotected against conditions that already threaten their vascular health. Another overlooked factor is how alcohol contributes to weight gain and poor nutrition. Alcohol contains empty calories that add up quickly. Seniors who consume daily tonics may see their waistlines expand, and excess belly fat is strongly linked to stroke risk. At the same time, alcohol interferes with nutrient absorption, particularly B vitamins that are critical for healthy nerve and vascular function. Over time, deficiencies created by alcohol further weaken the body's defenses. The long-term effects of alcohol-based morning habits are cumulative. Each glass may feel harmless, but the daily stress on arteries, heart rhythm, and blood pressure builds year after year. By the time symptoms appear, significant vascular damage is often already in place. For seniors who wish to protect independence and clarity of mind, avoiding this habit is essential. Doctors emphasize that there are far safer ways to start the morning. Water, herbal teas, or nutrient-rich smoothies provide hydration and support circulation without the risks of alcohol. Even a moderate cup of coffee or tea, taken carefully, is safer than alcohol. Seniors who choose these alternatives give their blood vessels a stronger foundation and reduce the silent strain that alcohol creates. The truth is clear: alcohol-based morning tonics are not a source of health but a hidden danger. For those over 65, they raise the risk of stroke by damaging vessels, destabilizing heart rhythm, and undermining protective medications. Replacing them with safer habits is one of the most powerful steps seniors can take to preserve mobility, memory, and independence. Every morning provides a choice, and choosing not to drink alcohol is a choice for longer, healthier years. The first drink of the day should protect your body, not place it at risk. Yet for many seniors, habits like fruit juice, energy drinks, or alcohol-based tonics quietly increase the chances of a stroke. Sugary juices drive up blood pressure and damage vessels, strong caffeinated or energy drinks overstimulate the heart and dehydrate the body, and alcohol disrupts circulation and weakens arteries. Each of these may seem small in the moment, but repeated every morning, they create conditions that silently wear down the brain's most vital lifelines. The good news is that prevention is in your hands. By replacing these risky drinks with safer choices, water, herbal teas, or whole fruits, you give your blood vessels strength, your heart stability, and your brain steady protection. Doctors emphasize that stroke prevention is built on consistent, simple choices rather than dramatic changes. For seniors, this means being mindful about what fills the first cup of the day. Your mornings can either strain or strengthen your future. Choosing wisely now helps protect independence, clarity, and health in the years ahead. Every day begins with a choice, and those first choices shape how the rest of the day, and even the years ahead, will feel. If you are over 65, protecting your health starts with something as simple as the drink you reach for in the morning. By avoiding sugary juices, energy drinks, and alcohol-based tonics, you are already giving your body the gift of stability and strength. Replacing them with water, herbal teas, or fresh whole fruit is not just a healthier option, it is a daily promise to your future self. If this message has helped you, I encourage you to stay connected. Subscribe to this channel so you won't miss future guidance designed to keep you strong, mobile, and independent. Share this video with loved ones, because sometimes the smallest changes can protect the people we care about most. And if you have thoughts or experiences to add, leave them in the comments. I always value hearing your perspective. Together, we can make mornings safer, healthier, and filled with choices that truly support long life and lasting well-being.